BS. It's all very raw. It's all very real. And I'm telling you, the right person's going to see it, and it's going to go where it needs to go.
Yeah, I think that you're already documenting this in a sense because you're filming your conversation. Now, does the woman you're talking to, is she aware that you're recording and sharing this with your friends and with the public in general, like your conversations with her?
To my knowledge, I don't know, and I live in a state where it's a one-party consent state.
Beautiful.
So
that's fantastic news because that's
I
the
have a
only thing that
question,
would stop
Kevin.
me.
Yes, Lizzie.
Have you been able to find any doctors that have actually went through this themselves?
I have not met a doctor who has actually gone through this themselves.
I would suggest
Marcy?
possibly. I am so proactive with all this kind of shit. And one thing I would like to mention is, I have chronic pain, and they're doing the same thing. They're writing all these pain laws, because they got the new pain guidelines out in 2022. They just released them. And because what happened is they put guidelines out in 2016, and they were vague and misread and misinterpreted, and that caused all these things to start to happen. And one of the things that happened is all these politicians are making laws saying that people with chronic pain can't get their meds, and they know now because it's been enough years that that was a bad thing, and that the chronic pain people are suffering, and the writing is down 85%, and overdoses are up like 400%, and those are old numbers. Well, this year, the start of the year, they said, well, we're going to come out with some new guidelines. They gave 4 months at the beginning of the year to have people put input into them so that they could look it over before they actually came out with the new guidelines. And then I think in October or early November, end of November, they came out with the 2022 guidelines, and they say, well, the guy I listened to said, well, they, because they know there's a problem, but they don't have any good solutions how to fix it, and it wasn't enough. They did something, but it wasn't enough. And meanwhile, if you go to your states.gov page, you can see they're writing laws in. There's bills. You can go to the page and you can see what bills are up, and you can read the text of the bill, and you can see what representatives are pushing it. And one thing, I'm a member of this chronic pain group, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's the lady who started it. Her name is Claudia Marandi, Marandi, and she's out of Rhode Island. She, I think, helped them to make bills to pass in Rhode Island, and which might have made a difference. And she's trying to help people in other states, um, represent the state and do the right things. Whether it is what to say when you go to see a new doctor, because they're automatically going to judge you. And one of the things they judge you on, whether or not they're going to give you even pain pills, is were you sexually molested or whatever, abused as a child. And they have a tendency to, she says they have a tendency to judge women on that especially. But this group is on Facebook, and you see the input from all these people, and and people saying, well, I had major surgery and they wouldn't give me any pain pills, or I broke my leg in 3 places and the nurse, all she would give me was an ice pack, or but I'm just thinking that one of the things you need to look at is, like you say, the laws we don't want stuff like that to go into effect, but if we could figure out like who's pushing it or who the good representatives for the state are, then maybe we might be able to get some names of some people, to try to direct it to actually mean something legally. But um, I was just wondering if you had spoken with any doctors that were going through the same thing, because I did while you were talking when I first got on. I read through a couple of articles trying to search something like that out, and I found one thing from 2017. The guy was 19 when he transitioned, and he's 42 now. And he talked about having going to support groups or whatever, But um, I'm just thinking there's got to be maybe somebody out there who's been through it, who's actually the doctor,
To
and what they might have to say.
Now,
You know.
okay, I have not met any doctors who have gone through gender affirming care. I have met pediatricians, two pediatricians. They're both acquaintances of our family. One of them is a friend of my husband's. And he tells me about what goes on in the pediatric aspects and how concerned he is over this push for gender affirming care. He is
Hmm.
one of the people who initially had misgivings about my gender transition, and he kept his lips sealed, later confessing about a couple of months ago that at the time when I said I was going through this process, he only supported me because that was what was expected of him from a societal aspect, which means that members of our society are being coerced into supporting scenarios they do not believe in. And
Hmm.
that is that is the part of the video which started bringing me to tears, was the realization that not only was I not in the best care through the experts, that the public around me was also being conditioned to give me a particular response. Like, I provide the stimulus of I'm going through gender affirmation and I'm going through a sex change, and they are conditioned to like say, "Oh, stunning and brave,"
Instead of that's abhorrent,
instead
as
of,
it should be.
yeah, like, "Are you
Safe and
sure?"
effective.
Yeah, instead of saying like, "Are you sure you really want to do that?" Only to find out
That's an
later, years later, it's like, "I wanted to ask you, are you sure, but I didn't want to like be offensive." It's like, "I wish you would have offended me," and he apologized. I was like, "You do not need to apologize." It's like, it's not you I was dealing with. You were not my care provider. It's like, you just did your part that was expected of you, and I accept your apology. However, I don't find you guilty of anything. Now, the people I do find guilty, if my husband doesn't pick up that blind dog and stop that. Can you guys hear that dog in the background?
No.
Nope.
Okay, good. All right, it's not being picked up. The people I do hold accountable are the experts who were part of my care team. I didn't
experts.
I didn't hold the knife. I didn't prescribe myself these drugs. I didn't prescribe myself the hormones. I didn't do my own therapy session. I went through many different handlers and many different experts and many different care providers. And a lot of paperwork had to be signed off on. Yes, I was fast tracked. Do you see how quickly from this video I presented this morning? Do you see how quickly they're trying to fast track me the other way? And trying to, like, just placate to me. It's like, it's clear to me that what they're trying to do is they're just trying to make me happy. It's like, and then that one part where she's
And
like,
cover their asses in the
and
process.
yeah, and say that they're not at fault. And she kept on using that phrase of like, well, you made this decision and you made that decision. It's like, yeah, the patient with the mental axes towards self-harm made decisions in front of the experts who signed off on the paperwork. I was not alone. I did not.
It's ultimately frustrating to see somebody who was not involved in any of this that is, trying to help appease your feelings on this matter. I feel like the only way to appease that would be to go directly to the people who caused the harm to you. And I don't know that that's going to happen, because I doubt you'd ever want to look at them again.
Oh,
That's
I would look at them. However, that's not on the forefront of my thoughts right now. What is most important to me right now is getting out the message of what has happened.
Well,
And
absolutely.
yeah, the revenge aspect or the retribution or the justice, that can always come later. That can come later. But right now,
I'm thinking more about just the healing for you. You know, I want healing for your heart and your soul, and for you to be able to find peace in whatever way that you can from here on out.
I'm doing
I
that
think
right
this is
now.
a really good, yeah, I think this is a really good way to go about doing that. I think you've made the right decision.
I wanted to mention, though, I think if we had a list of these clinics and to just call and play like you're gonna like make an appointment and pick the brain of that person answering the phone, because they might have like a name or a group, or just never know what kind of rabbit hole you're going to go down when you start talking to these people, because those people are just smart enough to be dangerous.
You could do that, and at the same time, I don't know what benefit you would get from it, as they often require a consult, like an initial consult, before they'll tell you anything.
I mean, like, might lead you to a specific group of people that have already went through the things that you're wondering about, like the hair growing and all that.
This is the interesting part about it, as you may have heard if you did indeed see the video. They have no game plan. Like, they have no map after this. They're all of this, as she stated in the video, it's like there are so few of you right now. We don't have any guidance really, other than strict medical guidance, like how to regulate your hormones and how to take your vitals and such. But they don't know what to do for a person psychiatrically or any support. There are no support mechanisms for this kind of post-affirming care for people who realize that it is causing so many negative side effects in their life. There's no support mechanism in place for people like that.
Yeah, it's all done under the assumption that once this surgery is done, you're miraculously going to be just perfectly fine and never going to have another issue with your gender or your identity or your sex life or your mental health ever again. It's just, this is going to solve all your problems, and that's it. That's the only assumption that they're operating on.
It's not just
terrifying.
It's not just the surgery either. It's interesting looking at this in hindsight, how these groups out there will saying gender is a social construct. Yet part of gender affirming care is going through voice lessons and mannerism lessons, and how the gate construct. Pardon me? Yeah.
I said it's a literal construct.
It is, yes, it is. They literally reconstruct a construct which was already established through eons of, there's a matter of creation, and then there's the point of creation evolving to where we've evolved today. Not not Darwinian evolution, but simply how things evolve. One moment, please. Darling!
Yes?
Yes. My husband must
quiet darling.
That yappy puppy. I love that puppy so much, but the incessant barking.
Yeah, my dog's going crazy here too. So
my pigeon does that.
Your
They're
pigeon.
probably barking at each other.
Okay.
All day.
Kev,
yes.
I got a comment before 9 here, or before 8 your time.
Why?
Well, that's when your show starts.
It's already started.
Oh, fuck. All right.
What, are you leaving?
No, I was trying to be polite and hurry up and get it in there before your show started.
No, you guys are part of the show. Go on.
So, your explanation of how you're like one of the very few people that they have as a patient or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
That's dealing with this and going through this after they just went and pushed this on people with really no knowledge of anything. It really reminds me of the COVID vax. So they go and they push the COVID vax with no background on it and push, and then everyone's, yay, this is great. And then fast forward, now people are having all these issues and actual data is coming out.
How are we supposed to get that data if we don't force people into it, you know? Like, it's so backwards thinking, isn't it?
It's
they're struggling to figure out how to fucking deal with it now because oops.
It didn't work out quite as they planned, I imagine. It's these same people who are like, well, you don't know what's in the bill until we sign it, until we put it into law, then you can read the bill. And now these people are finding out, well, you don't know the side effects unless you take it. And yeah, that's where we are. That's where we are. And now with gender affirmation, it's like they push it as like, you know, it's like, it'll save your kids. Oh, your kids will be so happy and everything like that. Well, are we going to talk about like I've mentioned, it's like, are we going to talk about the financial aspects, the long-term side effects of the psychological aspects? Lizzie, are you going to move all the silverware? Okay.
What?
Are you going to move all the drawers in your kitchen or just the one?
Sorry.
Okay.
It's the dishes. You know, I gotta wash my dishes.
Yeah, okay.
I wanted to say, though, I was thinking the same thing because the coercion, when you said about coercion, I wonder if it wouldn't make any sense to call DeSantis's office. You know, he's trying to push this stuff. Maybe they need to widen it a little bit.
I would say call your governor, call your senator, call your your Congress people and your mayor and stuff. And it's like it starts at your local level. It's like you get that stuff going through your communities, and then your communities do petitions stuff and raise awareness on the issues of which are going on, and do it so like in a very as a matter of fact kind of way. I mean, drama does not need to be used in any of this. As you can see, I'm serving this raw. I mean, you might get botulism or some sort of you might get a foodborne illness. I'm serving this shit so raw. You just serve it raw, without flair, without drama, without
sashimis and sashimis.
Oh, well, and make sure you have the right fish, because let me tell you, a lot of that tuna out there is actually escalar, and that's going to give you the shits. Iceburn, good morning. Why is Kevin not in a maid outfit? I need to see more maid outfit. Oh, for fuck's sake, one moment, please. Hold on. You and your freaking kinks, Iceburn. Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Here. This is better. Okay, there. There, Iceburn. You satisfied? You kinky motherfucker.
There we go. Ow.
Oh, good lord. Okay, let me get out there. I wasn't expecting this kind of chaos, but I guess that's what we got.
That's a good looking putty.
All right, let me move on to and not we don't have to move completely off the topic, but let me put up a different image. All right. Yes. Here. This guy. All right.
I fucking love you guys.
Yes. Twitch.
Good morning, Callie.
Is that Twitch Dylan's DeGeneres' dude that died at 40?
Yes. Why did he die at 40?
I wonder. He seemed like he was a really healthy dude all the time he was on the Ellen show.
Well, it seems weird because they have this next article right here. People who attempt suicide might show signs early on. Here's what to watch for. So, did this person...
He killed himself?
Did this person kill himself? Because I'm wondering. Here, let's do keyword autopsy. Okay, there's nothing in there about autopsies. What's up?
They said he killed himself.
Yeah, he killed himself like Epstein.
It says he shot himself.
Epstein killed himself too.
He shot himself.
In the back?
That's what it says.
Well, I just didn't see anything about. I just saw that he killed himself, and I knew he was Ellen's dude, and I was just like, oh.
Yeah, I looked it up yesterday. It says that he was found with a bullet wound.
Yeah, he woke up dead.
What were they into? You just have to wonder. I mean, all the stuff, all the kids were just so in love with Ellen and wanted to go and be on her show.
Well, like her ex-girlfriend too, didn't she?
Yes.
Have a case of the suddenlies too.
Well, she didn't have a case of the suddenly. She had the case of the suddenly I crashed into something and the car started on fire, and then they said that she burned to death, or they insinuated that she was burned. Yet when they pulled her out of the vehicle, yes, that's what I'm getting to. Is that when they pulled her out of the vehicle and she was on the gurney, she sat up and she didn't look all scorched to me.
They had her in a fucking body bag too. Like they had her completely covered up, and then she just like sat up, like what the fuck is happening? Like she was trying to escape. It was some crazy shit.
And they said she didn't have any drugs in her system too.
Oh, that makes perfect sense, right?
Well, it was crazy because she sat up, but it didn't even look like a female body when she sat up. It kind of looked like, I don't know. So there was some weird stuff about the body that sat up, it was really weird. That was
the whole thing is weird, and the whole thing with like her set, like being the background on her set looks like the one of Epstein's island, the buildings with all the, it's just fucking creepy shit all the way around. Gosh. Creeps me the fuck out.
What got me?
All the kids I worked with wanted to go on her show. They were like trying to do something to get on her show.
What got me was the way they had her strapped on the gurney. Her arms were up in the air, and the strap was like way up over her head.
Yeah, why would you do that to somebody who's been injured so badly, apparently, allegedly, supposedly? Like, if somebody was burned like that, the last thing you'd want to do is be putting anything on their body that could possibly cause more injury. Burns like that could be, she was in that car for a long time, apparently. So I would assume if she was burned pretty severely. So usually they would put you, in something that's going to protect your skin, not strap you down.
Yeah, one would think. But in a body
doesn't
bag?
make any sense.
What was her name?
Anne Heche.
Anne Heche, yes. Anne Heche sits up. Accident. Let's see if we can find anything on that, because I do remember she sat the fuck up.
Straight up, like a bullet out of a gun, just boom.
Just as we continue to learn new developments into that car crash in Los Angeles, and as the driver by TMZ and Fox 11 out there in Los Angeles identified as Anne Heche. Let's take a look.
And yes, that is Frog Spring Salty Mad Jamison in Jitsi.
That we saw earlier this afternoon of a car going into a house taking place there out in Mar Vista.
House of Preston, and car slam.
As we can see the helicopter video there of the car in the house, you can see firefighters on the scene there taking that car out from the house. Fox 11 in Los Angeles said the driver went into that house and sparked a fire. Firefighters were on the scene just before 11 a.m. on the West Coast. A car, a Mini Cooper, you can see there, went through the house, causing a massive fire. Within an hour, the firefighters, LAFD, had eventually pulled the car out of your home. You can see it was towed.
Okay, so the car is in a fire, but it's not hot enough that this guy, does this guy have a thermal glove on? Because he's handling that car door like it's not hot.
Transition to real quick.
Yeah, it looks like he did.
That thing looks like a baked potato out of a campfire.
Not to mention how far away the ambulance was from everything. They had to go all the way around the fire trucks.
Okay, she's not in a body bag, or whoever this is not in a body bag.
In the house, so they were concerned about that, and also concerned about
the face is covered. Yeah, I get that.
Who was identified as Anne Heche. You probably know the name from TV and movies. From 6 days, 7 nights.
So they have another gurney over there with another body. Wait a minute, is that one empty? And there we go. What the fuck was that?
And
two gurneys.
There is a dramatic moment there just before.
Oh, I wonder what the fuck happened.
That's a fully burned body.
That's a. Are you being sarcastic?
No, look at her. Her clothes are burned off.
Yes.
She's fucking burnt to a crisp. Her hair.
But she still has her hair. Her hair would have been the first thing to burn, wouldn't it? Like.
And
look, and then they're like, lay back down, bitch.
So what's
lay back down.
Hey, so this body,
we're trying to fucking help you. Lay down.
This body horror we're checking out. What spurred this on? I got back. I'm like, oh my god.
It looks like a man's body. I don't know.
So the
Her
arm,
shirt's not even burned.
the arm looks burned. So this is an okay, this looks like an injured individual. However, didn't they say that she died in the accident?
No, she supposedly died in the hospital. First they said she was going to be fine, and then the next thing you know, she had a case of the suddenlies and was dead.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Anne Heche is dead. Well, part. Okay, go on.
To me, it looks like someone who just came out of a unconscious state and is in shock. Like, what the fuck? What is going on? What is going on? I'm on fire. I'm burning.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, but how did she get? She was strapped around her upper torso. So how did she get that much of her body out of the? I just don't. It doesn't make sense. And why is there two gurneys? I don't.
Hey, I got a quick question.
Yeah.
And then look at how everything's set up. It's like.
So wait. When did she die?
Well, it was several days later in the hospital, if I'm not mistaken.
When did she die?
What day?
Well, let me find out.
Yeah, because I searched her name on Google and it says she died August 11th. I'm looking at all this shit and it looks like it was this month, and I don't know what the fucking deal is.
No, this was months ago.
Yeah, it was months ago.
Yeah, it was throwing me off.
Yeah, it was in this. I believe it was in the summertime. It sounds like the right time frame, August, but.
Okay, so
the suddenlies, no fun.
Well, we're talking about it because we're talking about how people who are, in close circles with Ellen DeGenerate is, everybody seems to turn up dying around her, anyone who, and of course, Anne Heche was in the middle of what was it, a documentary about child human trafficking. So,
those people always die. I mean, look at Chris Cornell and the Lincoln Park guy. They were working when they died, or when they killed themselves. They were working on a documentary about all the pedophilia.
Isaac Cappy, right? Isaac Cappy was outing people.
Cappy as well, yeah, exactly.
What tripped me out was Tom Hanks and the white glove and all the pictures he was posting about that time. That's just, that's a little bit too much of a coincidence for my
fucking Tom Hanks.
Comfort.
Like, shit. Who knows how much they diddled him, and now he's just another one of them.
Well, you notice him and his wife moved to a state where there's no or to a country where there's no extradition,
Imagine
right?
that. What, New Zealand, right?
I think they went to
Greece.
No,
Greece,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, they're in Greece.
Yeah, Greece is fuck shit. Greece is under their thumb, hardcore. I've talked to people from Greece.
It's pretty telling. It's pretty telling. It's what they're not saying that is, really the key, I think. I'm not a horrible conspiracy theorist, but after a while, things pile up and they add up, and you can't ignore it.
It comes down to, first of all, how many coincidences are too many, and realistically, supporting evidence. Like the whole conspiracy theorist, it's just a red herring to throw people off. Like,
right?
It's okay if you got a conspiracy theory, but like 90% of the stuff is factual. Maybe there's a little bit of correlation. It's like, well, there's some supporting evidence for that. It can be debated, but to just shut someone down and be like, oh, conspiracy theorists, it's like, man, I'm not even playing their fucking game anymore.
Yeah, well, conspiracy theorist is a term that was created by CIA anyways.
So. My conspiracy theory is 100% more accurate than your bullshit fucking explanation.
Well,
that's come up with something better and we'll discuss it, right?
But that's the thing, supporting evidence. Like, just because it's a theory, it's automatically wrong. Oh,
no,
okay.
That's not how it works. That's not how theories work anyway.
Exactly.
That's not how it works in science. That's not how it works. The theory is your statement. The only thing a theory is a statement. If this, then that. That's
it's like you make some observations and a conclusion.
Yes, an observation is
either you're right or you're wrong.
And CIA made up the term conspiracy theorist.
Conspiracy theorist.
To shut us all up. To shut us all up. So you don't. Because if you're the 95% of people who didn't go to college and didn't learn this, then you're going to go, I don't want to be conspiracy theorist because being in conspiracy is a crime.
Well, it's just the whole out-group thing. Obviously, they attach a whole lot of connotations. Remember, like, what tinfoil hat? What the fuck? You know, like, just because you have a conspiracy theory, suddenly, like,
No,
make
there's no
headwear out of
conspiracy
tinfoil.
theories.
You know what I mean?
My stepbrother had a friend, and his mom would literally go into her bathroom. My stepdad worked at a radio station, and she was convinced that my stepdad was speaking to her through the radio waves, and the only way she could pick up the signal was with tinfoil in her hair in her bathroom. And she was schizophrenic, so I think that's has something to do with the tinfoil hat thing. It's like it's a insinuation of a mental illness. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's
They're
what they want to equate it
insinuating
with.
his mental illness.
Anything that's outside of the box, they want to equate it with mental illness. Oh, it's so
Theory's
sad.
not mental illness. Theory is your feelings and thoughts.
There's mentally ill people with theories, but the point is, not all theories are mentally ill.
Isn't that the truth? Shoot,
sorry to step on you.
It's a weaponized term, and we really shouldn't use it. Our theories are that if you mess with a certain person, you might end up dead. Because obviously, Twitch and this other chick sold their soul to be where they're at.
Cappy was talking about. He was like, "I'm not a good
Cappy
man.
sold his soul too.
I'm just trying to make shit right,
Yeah.
But don't forget about Canada doing euthanasia on mental people.
Yeah.
Wow, Canada, shit, that's a can of worms. That's a Canada of worms. It's hard to say this. It wasn't that funny.
Hey, Kevin, I missed your interview. Unfortunately, I couldn't wake up early enough, but it sounds like you got a lot of good response and a lot of really intellectual thought about it from the people that did get to watch it, which is awesome.
I recommend going back and watching it for sure.
If I will be able to, I don't know if it's going to be. Is it going to be on? Is it recorded, Kevin?
It is. It's on Odysee. One moment, I'll put it on.
Okay, no, I'll go back later and find it. That's awesome. I'm glad you left it up so I can go back and watch it.
Yeah, these definitely should be left up. If you weren't planning on it, I think you should change your plan, because if you're trying to get the message out, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah,
and anytime you want to do oral history, that's my major. That's my master's, oral history.
Nice.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's somebody else. Like if you were inclined to do it, Kevin, and be able to get on the, someone that's famous, someone that is known for doing this. Because I'm not famous, and I'm not really trying to be famous. I don't need that attention for myself. The white underbelly guy, he might be able to do a really awesome interview for you, and he has a lot of followers. I don't know if you want to get a hold of him. I don't know where you're at on this, how comfortable you feel. I love that you're keeping it on your own, doing it on your own and showing your own, not having actually other people doing it. But and your followers are increasing by the week. I mean, you're at what, 120 something, 22, 23 followers now?
Am I?
Yeah, I mean there's definitely people that are following you. You're getting follows, and I think some people, you're never going to know who a lot of them are, but some people somewhere are going to hear this, and they're going to have to listen. Their hearts are not going to let them not listen.
Are you journaling, Kevin?
Video journaling, and then what you see posted is pretty much the journal. As far as journaling, what do you say?
Well, and when you write a journal, that's a legal document.
Even your calendar, if you write something on your calendar, that's considered a legal document in a court of law.
All I'm doing right now,
come to find out,
all I'm really doing right now is I'm just getting the message out. I am currently working with a journalist at the Epoch Times.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So that is happening. But yeah, it mainly is just about the message. It's I'm just getting the message out about that particular case of the gender affirming care. and the
You know,
consequences.
all this medical stuff exploded under the new health care for everybody. So we didn't have, I don't remember as many of these issues, you know, like I heard earlier, I don't know who was talking about pain medication and stuff like that. You know, the doctors were able to do their own doctoring. They didn't have to type into the computer and let the computer spit out, you know, it's idiocracy. It's just exactly what we saw in the movie.
Yeah, put this in your mouth, put this in your butt, chop this off, and take that.
Oh, hold on, I got it wrong.
Yeah. Oh, you put your butt one in your mouth and your mouth one in your butt. It's like,
yeah. So your chart says like you're all fucked up and you talk like a
and
fag.
you cut off your hands and your arms now, so you don't have to worry about anything because you'll just
we're living it
without your hands and arms. Yeah. It's all about money, and we are way more important than the money that they can make off of us, and it's so disgusting that, you know, I haven't looked up the recent numbers, but how much it costs to incarcerate a person, how much it costs to do a medical procedure, how much it costs to let this person go through college. You know what? They put the money, they put it in the computer, and they know how much money they can mine out of our bodies. Literally mine gold out of our bodies through these medical procedures, and through, you know, or educating us, or, you know, they can educate a normal child and they get $5,000 a year. If they educate a retarded child, they're going to make $30,000, $60,000, $80,000 a year. If they can incarcerate that retarded child, they can make $1 million by keeping that child in an incarcerated situation. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're going to incarcerate you. They're going to incarcerate you so they can make the $1 million. And it's just absolutely disgusting. And this is what we got.
Not to mention the added benefits of stripping you of your rights.
Well, I mean, yeah, because if you have no rights, they can use you, because if you have rights, but you don't know you have rights because you're a child per se, which is who they're targeting with this gender shit. You know, they weren't really, I mean, they targeted Kevin for a certain reason. You know, there's reasons.
Well, you said it, Kevin. You're a slave. You feel like you're a slave now. Like that's what eunuchs were, right? Is they were slaves. It's what you said to the psychoanalyst that you were talking to. Is that, you know, historically, they may have lived good lives, but they were still enslaved by a master.
Yes,
and that is slaves. Very telling. That is very telling. You know, we're all just chattel in this system of things.
I mean,
that's what they want.
There were some eunuchs who chose to be eunuchs for religious reasons. More than often, though, it was because they were acquired through domination of another warring faction, and then the men were made into eunuchs from the opposing faction to work in service towards the warlord. Now, since we're talking about money coming out of medicine, I want to back up for just a moment here.
Not only medicine, 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 absolutely. It's all based on how someone has targeted you as an individual from birth, probably, to be. I mean, the theory says that by the time you're 3, your schedule's already scheduled. You've been scheduled for something. By the time you're 3, you've been scheduled by your parents, because your parents have scheduled you to be in a program and to be programmed to do something. And not all of us are getting programmed to be Olympic stars. Not all of us are being programmed. Some of us are being programmed to be retarded. Some of us are being programmed to be, being hurt, being victims. By 8, get them before they're 8. You know, if you can get all them children before they're 8 and you can rape them, then you have a whole population of people that you can mine for $50 million a year when you incarcerate them at 9 years old, because they cannot function in the society. And now you have to put them in a juvenile detention center where you have to pay the guards, you have to pay the doctors, you have to pay and then your child is an experimental. It just goes back to Joseph Mengele And I've been watching. I didn't even know this this Mandel lady who was in charge of the women in Nazi times, and what she was doing. It's just an extension of all that bullshit. And at some point, we thought that having health care for everybody was a good thing, and it's not.
Oh, it's awful. It's the opposite.
It's the
They've
opposite.
done such a good job of it that, like, we're convinced that we're free. Like, most people are convinced that they're free, and that's how you know that they've gotten so good at the grift that people just think it's normal.
Who are the biggest crybabies for healthcare for everybody? Fat, diabetic, people who had choices in how they were taking care of their bodies and then ended up on medication. I'm not just saying fat and diabetic. There's a lot of people who.
Oh no, you hit the nail on the head.
I used to think I needed to go to the doctors all the time, especially when I was, for womanly things.
Yeah, generally it's the people who
the whole
put
female
themselves.
thing.
Well, you're right.
bad
Women do like to pick up doctors, don't they? Sorry, Kevin.
It's okay.
I used to think I had to go to the gynecologist like almost every month if I had an itch or something, just for an itch or something. I would think that I was, had to go.
Yeah, generally I see that it's people who put themselves into bad situations who could have made better choices in life by using, some sort of
drugs.
Well, not drugs. I'm saying like
alcohol.
No, not alcohol. I'm saying that
food, sugar,
anything that the person could have made better decisions on, where they consistently made repetitious bad choices and put themselves into a bad position, and then they want to get some sort of like free health care because not only will they not accept personal responsibility over the situation which they put themselves into, they want someone else to foot the bill because they're not of the substance to have personal responsibility nor take their consequences. So they'd rather allay their consequences to someone else.
The victim mindset.
These people also fall into this bracket of overextending their credit. So, the U.S. consumer is falling behind on loans, with credit card payments to reach a 13-year high in 2023. There have been commercials out right now where you can use a credit card to buy groceries. Like, there's a man standing in line, there's some woman standing behind him, and he can't afford broccoli. So he's choosing between broccoli and cheesy poofs. And it's like, well, what do you think he's going to give up?
Cheesy poofs.
Well, he keeps the cheesy poofs and he buys the fucking cheesy poofs on credit. And it's like, and everyone's happy. I mean, let me see if I can find
my Instacart. I have an Instacart subscription, and they, when I go to check out, you can pay your $40 right now, or you can pay your $40 in 4 installments of $11.70 cents. Like,
isn't that
something? I wonder if they're doing that on DoorDash and Grubhub and Uber Eats and all those.
I don't know, but I know for a fact because I just ordered coffee creamer and sugar from Instacart today.
Okay, and I just wanted to go back to the doctors and the dentists.
Just 3 more months and you'll have it paid off, Frog Springs.
Right, and then that'll be that.
I remember going to the doctors and getting stickers. I don't know if this was just in the 60s and 70s, but they used to give you stickers on lollipops and shit.
The dentist was the best. My dentist had a treasure chest full of little toys, and he'd let you pick anything you wanted out of it.
My dentist was a genius. He was always investing in the future. You'd go there, and then he'd give you a lollipop on the way out with a wink. And it's like, I see you.
The dentist, right?
Tooth man. Yeah.
The dum-dum lollipops, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny. You guys got dum-dums? Now, I never got any treats for going to go see my dentist nor my doctors, but I find it interesting that they chose a dum-dum lolly to give to it. It's like, is that slick or what?
They give stickers out. They have like certain stickers that they get to that are certain, like Ronald McDonald, of course, is a big sponsor of all the retarded children.
Ronald McDonald House, which you never hear about anymore, by the way.
Yeah, I wonder all that. That was. Didn't they take down some? They took down like they had a lot of the little. I know by our hospital out here, they had a McDonald's. It was a dedicated McDonald's playland for the kids that got sick, and they would actually have parties for them. And another thing they do is the Make a Wish, make a dream, make a wish. If you have leukemia or something, your kid has leukemia. Make a Wish comes out, and because I lived across the street from a girl who had leukemia, and they came out, and her wish was to have a princess room, and they remodeled her whole room into a princess room.
I know somebody who got a trip to Disney.
Yeah.
I just got my dishes done, and I came back into the room, and George is drinking my coffee. The cat.
The cat is drinking your coffee?
Yeah.
Oh no! Watch out for that pussy later. It's gonna be fun.
Right. Zooming around the house. Come home, find the cat doing your dishes for you. Like, hey, I need some more of that coffee.
Sticking
me up, lady.
And slapping it all over the whole room.
Are you guys familiar with Leanna Wen?
I cannot say I am, no.
Do you know this woman? Do you know the
I've
CDC?
seen that face.
Do you know
evil lady?
Walensky?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys remember Leanna Wen? We have to take this opportunity to put the carrot out or the public won't follow along.
Oh, yes, I know. Okay, now I know.
Did you guys know? I don't want to be a member that she was canceled. She was canceled because she changed her position. Leanna Wen.
Oh yeah, because of her kid.
Accused of, yes, unsafe, ableist, fat phobic, and they went all in. They're like, you're a fat phobe and you're ableist and unethical practices for
and
opposing,
racist
and all these
because fat phobia. You're scared of fat. Oh my god!
Remember.
You're scared of other fat people.
Now remember.
You don't want to be around other fat people.
You're fat.
She was selected as a favorite of this whole COVID push.
God. Yep.
She was always on television. She and Birx. Well,
yes.
Birx went and wrote that book and said, oh, well, we were hopeful that these treatments would work. We didn't expect them to, but we were hopeful. Yeah. Probably because of, like, the placebo effect, right? Well, now we have another one of these talking heads, or figureheads, I should say.
Hopefully we can line our pockets with some bullshit.
Going against the narrative. And what do they do to her? They cream her. Well,
did they cream her? Did they actually kill her?
No, but it's like
not yet.
I didn't.
That's next.
It's so subtle how the mainstream media will just drop someone, and I was thinking to myself, and I was like, where is Leanna Wen? And I think I was talking to another one of our pond friends. And they're like, oh, well, she won't do, like, what they want to do with the kids regarding COVID, so she, like, changed her tune, so now she's being canceled. And I was like, no shit. And then I come to find out, yeah, throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, one character has ruffled more feathers than perhaps anyone else in the public health sphere, and it's not Anthony Fauci, the director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease. You know, and he already declared himself, he is the science. Well, no, it's Leanna Wen. What's up?
Science.
Okay. It's Leanna Wen, the medical doctor, pundit, and COVID hawk turned COVID normalizer. Once a target of conservative outrage over COVID mandates, Wen is now being targeted by left-leaning public health advocates who oppose her insistence that COVID is endemic and we need to live with it. Well, girl, I am so glad that she finally came out of whatever freaking spell she was under.
I wonder if she has kids.
She does have kids. That's just
there it is right there. You know, it's okay when it's the adults, but when you start pushing shit on my kids, you know, that's when Mama Bear is gonna change her fucking tune.
Yeah, and she's a dragon. I mean, what are the tiger mom? She's Asian.
Oh yeah.
She's Asian. So she's not even
tiger, hidden drag queen.
Hidden drag everything. Thank you. That was crazy. But yeah,
the tiger mom, man.
Yeah, she's the Asian tiger mom. She's like
tear you apart.
Yeah, I mean, you've got like you've got like your mama bears in the United States. You got your tiger moms in Asia. This woman is not going to let these people do this to her kids. Now,
thank God.
My doctor, she says that she did it to her kids, and that was when she was trying to convince me to take the Janssen and Janssen, the Johnson. What's up?
My doctor called me and left me a message that she's no longer able to practice medicine. Guess who's been trying to convince me to get the jab since
she finally
God knows
stopped
how long.
Practicing? She finally figured it out? I'm just
no,
kidding.
She took the jab and then she ended up on oxygen and she's so sick she can no longer practice medicine.
Yeah, her brain
so I
fried.
hate to say I was right, but I was
Suddenly
fucking right.
Bitch.
Hey, we're in the year of the tiger, you know that.
Are we?
Crazy.
Yeah, I used to, unfortunately, before.
Does that mean something?
Yeah, it does to the Chinese. It's
right.
Well, it means something. Yes, it absolutely does.
Well, be careful about your Chinese. Here, let me see. Chinese fake food. Be careful if you're having a moon cake.
Astrological symbols.
Are you guys familiar with these?
Hey guys,
fake
what's
foods?
up? It's Mike Chen. I haven't.
Are you guys familiar with plastic rice? Are you guys familiar with like?
Oh
eggs?
yeah, plastic rice and bleached garlic.
And
oh my God, yeah.
Here, let me show you guys something.
What
Chinese
they do to our food and how they process our chicken under the who sent that over?
Ammonia.
HRC was the big proponent of sending our chickens that we grow here, are chickens that are raised here, and they're sent to Asian countries to be processed, to be put into our processed soups and stuff.
Let me show you something. Okay,
Gross.
not this one, not this fake egg. Let me show you how these fake eggs are made.
Oh
my God.
Watch this shit.
I've seen this. It's weird shit.
They take like oh shit, it's not the one where they actually show it being made.
Is it like agar?
It's more than that. They actually use like these solvents, and they use things like calcium carbonate and stuff, and they actually show how they blend these eggs together. And
into
it's
a meal.
all chemicals. And they just do it like on the floor, like.
And it's going into processed foods.
And it's going into actual egg cartons, and they're passed off as real eggs.
Using this equipment,
Here we go.
we can tell which one is a real egg and which one is not real. For example, whether it is transparent inside, or whether there are natural air holes in the eggshell. Earlier this year, a shocking report surfaced about fake eggs being sold in China, made of chemicals and food additives.
They're going to turn the power off at 9?
3 years ago, my mum bought fake eggs home. After that, we started to be careful so that we do not buy fake eggs anymore. This lady demonstrates the process for us.
That's what
in
they're
fake
working
eggs,
on,
the egg
is the
yolk is
solar.
quite thin, and the egg white is very thin like water as well. Furthermore, the most distinctive part is there is no thin layer of skin in the fake egg.
Membrane.
Yeah, there's no membrane.
We invited a person who is an expert on Chinese fake food products to comment. It is definite that man-made eggs are being sold. Compared with the real eggs, it has fourfold profits. One can sell some eggs and leave, go to other markets. It is called fire a shot and change another.
Anyway, it's a long-ass video. Here, I'll just put the... Well, it's actually about 9 minutes long. Anyway, I just got the news that apparently I need to, like, get out of fucking Dodge by 9, even though we told the solar company who is taking care of this project that I cannot have the solar, I cannot have the energy turned off, but apparently I need to end the show early today. But we still have about 21 minutes left, and it is totally Bruce's fault. It's totally Bruce's fault. Bruce, everyone blames you.
Well, that's like Japan, right? If you guys seen the Cove about the dolphin slaughter that happens there every year, where they basically corral the dolphins into this harbor, and they let like SeaWorld and things like that, the trainers come in and buy their pick of the lot, and then whichever ones aren't bought for shows and training and pet the dolphin programs, swim with the dolphin programs, they're murdered. They had free divers go in and place underwater sonography and like sound recording equipment and cameras. and these people are violent about defending it, and then what happens is they are feeding that dolphin meat to school children, and it's tainted with mercury.
Oh yeah, because oh my gosh, that's why I don't eat shark meat. I mean, I wouldn't ever eat a dolphin. A dolphin is like a mammal. A mammal I would never eat because it's not a fish, it's a mammal. But shark, on the other hand, is also, and that's a fish. I wouldn't mind eating it because it's a fucking fish. However, and it's yeah, I'm a little mamacist or something like that. Racist on the mammals because I'll eat a cow but I won't eat a dolphin, but I won't eat a shark because of the mercury also. Because when animals get too large in the ocean, they tend to acquire too much mercury. Look at Laura.
The higher up in the food chain you go, the higher the concentrations usually are.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the trick is you got to eat the shark's liver because it cleans everything out.
No,
so
it doesn't. You'd kill
eat
yourself.
The whole thing. Don't hold back.
You'd kill yourself.
Yeah,
dude.
I'm joking. Nobody do that.
Don't eat the fucking shark liver. No, don't eat the shark liver. Look at Laura DeGoddess over here. I'm talking about like my show has to end, and Laura's like, I hope it's on in time for the show tonight. Yes, Laura, it'll be on in time for the show tonight. Laura.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tonight.
Yeah, that'll be nice. That'll be so good. Yes, Laura and I have like a good energy together. Laura, I'm looking forward to the questions. And by the way, from what I understand, it's a call-in show tonight too. So, as it always is with Laura DeGoddess, you can call in. However,
awesome.
This time you won't you won't just be speaking to Laura. I'll be there too.
I'm so happy.
Yes.
That's great news.
Yes.
Cool. What time do you guys do that?
That's going to be around 7-ish. Now, you know what? I might as well just do a plug right now. If y'all don't know how to go to Rougarou, and Matt Beebe developed this fantastic guide. So if you would.
I've still not been there.
Well, you must, because inside this guide you will find all the bass streamers that could fill your 24/7 wet dream. You can have it.
Woo woo!
I know.
Sold.
So
I'll take 2 of them.
You will have them. And be quite moist. We're gonna try and get you. All right, Laura, let's go. Tomorrow, 45-1 Actual is having his last show of the season 1. Okay, so apparently tomorrow he's gonna start. Okay, now get this. From what I understand, he's gonna start his stream early, but he's not gonna be there because he and his daughter are gonna be doing a father-daughter thing at the school, which means that all that's gonna be doing is that there's just gonna be music streaming on 45-1 Actual's Big Dick Energy Brigade radio show channel. However, 45-1 Actual himself will not be there until like around 10:30 or about, an hour and a half after his show normally would start, which means that I have been tasked with don't take the term like derogatorily, but I've been put in charge of babysitting you savages. All right.
Best babysitter ever.
Until 45-1 Actual returns, which means I have to do an epic reading and maybe play some metal or maybe not. And take the place of 45-1 Actual. And so I've been putting together my persona, and I need to go find a freaking patriotic baseball cap. But so far, let me see, what do I have? I've got this, so I can kind of pull it off a little bit. Just a little bit.
That sounds good to me. Sounds good.
All right.
Let me see. Don't take it.
I love those dramatic readings. Those dramatic readings. I learned to live for those things. Those are great with the music playing and what was the last one about the afro, like the hair?
It was the afro hair, and before that, it was the freaking the marine biologist who felt terrible that she's a woman and that men named Dave or Mike or something like that. It's like, it had a problem with that shit. It's like, yeah, I really, really enjoy his dramatic reads as well. Muko, what are you unhappy about? Muko, what the hell is wrong?
Kevin, are you getting buff?
Am I getting... No, I'm just wearing larger clothing to hide my tits.
Oh, well, when you had your arm up like that, it looked like I could see some muscle. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I've got muscle.
Oh, yeah. You look like your arms are getting buffer.
Well, maybe they are, but it would be awfully quick. And there's Vex over there. I don't know, probably
if you still need boy clothes, Kevin, I've got so many of Shane's things here. He has shirts that were brand new that I swear he wore maybe once or twice. So
okay.
If you still need guy clothes,
I appreciate
we can
that.
discuss that.
I appreciate that. And then I caught what you were publicly putting out about what Shane did to you.
Oh yeah, he's No, he's lucky he's dead because he'd be dead. Like straight up, that motherfucker was pulling some shit, and
I don't.
All the more reason that I want to just kind of cleanse my house of all that stuff. So if you can't use it, I'll probably.
I don't want that energy. I don't want that energy. It's like
they're clothes. Wash the clothes. They're just clothes. Wash them. I know you said you're worried about the cost of replacing your wardrobe. So.
You know where this stuff comes from? Well, aside from the 45-1 actual T-shirt, which I'm wearing right now, that actually came from Rise Attire. This was not inexpensive. All this stuff, though, this is all Goodwill. Everything else is Goodwill.
Yeah, that's where this stuff's gonna end up if nobody else wants it.
Just take it to Goodwill.
He wore like lots of base like Patriot T-shirts. He'd order all of his stuff online, like Alex Jones, like Save the Frogs, you know. And
now I am kind of interested. Now I am. I can see what you're talking about with the muscle. I can see now. I can see Cali Girl what you're talking. Yeah. I've got biceps.
Looking good.
Yeah, I've got biceps.
If it's convenient and easy to get, snag it because the clothes don't. The clothes are not the person, and they're not, because I wear secondhand clothes all the time. I'm not. Don't trip on that. That's forget it.
I cannot remember the last time I bought clothes. Seriously, because my neighbors get rid of clothes. I'll be right back. I gotta let my cat out. She's going insane.
You know,
I'm the same way because I have 2 sisters and aunts and everything like that. And anytime anybody brings me garbage bags full of clothes, I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus, thank you.
Kevin just needs a P.O. box for fan mail in general.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll talk about that. At some point. Okay, so we've got like 14 minutes left, so let me do a condensed version of what the extended show is supposed to be. Okay, so Prince Harry says William screamed at him over royal spat or split with Meghan in final episodes of Netflix documentary. No one cares. No one fucking cares, Harry. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, my feelings.
Nobody cares.
Broke up?
I don't know. Russia warns against U.S. shipping Patriot missiles. Russia warns against U.S. shipping Patriot missiles. Hey, Biden, stop spending our money and perpetuating the stupid-ass war in the Ukraine against Russia, you dumbass. You're the laughingstock of the world right now. Stop getting us into stupid wars. It just baffles my mind that you people, whenever there's a Republican sitting in the presidency, are always like, oh, end the war, end the war, end the war. And the wars end in the moment you motherfuckers get into office. You go and start more wars. Shut the fuck up and stop taking our money. And talk to your CPAs or whoever's doing your taxes this year and see if maybe perhaps you can get away with maybe not paying taxes until you are provided with an audit from the federal aspects of the reserve to find out where your tax dollars are actually going. Are you being taxed without representation? This is a question. Okay.
I mean that's actually, it's more of an answer. We are being taxed without representation.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, we are. Unquestionably.
Oh my God.
All right.
Shit.
So what else did I want to condense in this? Let's see. I had on my other tabs, I had cardiologists coming out and changing their mind about COVID. Let's see, where is this?
Yeah, they probably got so much business now. They're like,
cardiologist changed his mind about COVID-19 vaccines after father's heart attack. Dr. Asim Malhotra says the harms associated with mRNA shots are unprecedented. So this is another doctor, which is probably going to come under attack soon. Let's see, what else do I have going on?
Sounds like a conspiracy theorist.
Perhaps he is. But perhaps he's not, and maybe people might want to take
How dare he observe reality and come to logical conclusions? What a crazy nut job.
I know.
How many conspiracies does it take before it becomes just a known fact?
7.
Right? Like 7?
Well, 3
it's like
weeks.
the licks to get to the center of the Tootsie Roll.
It is
Tootsie Pop.
3. Yeah, I think it's like 3 weeks now. And why can't I get to
1, 2, 3.
Hey, you know what? I watched a documentary yesterday, not to get you off sidetrack, about SB 132, where they're putting the prisoner, identify. If you identify as a female, you can go in the female prison.
And then get pregnant. Yeah.
Real crazy. Good. They have 40 something that they've already moved, and there's 238 that have applied. And
you're here in California, right?
Yeah. And
yeah.
238, 30 something percent, almost 40% of them were sexual offenders.
Oh yeah, if I'm ever going to prison, I'm totally going to identify as a dude, so I can at least get some. Well, I'm spending my life in prison. Like, I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Wow,
Right.
someone took a big old swig of slutty this morning.
I don't know.
Good.
It does not sound necessarily illogical.
No, because it's really bad. They're
Wow.
changing the women's prison. The women's prison didn't have the corruption in it that the men's prison has. It's more of a working prison. It's crazy. I'll put the link up to that video.
How did that dude get pregnant in jail?
Crazy. And you know what their options are now? They put up the signs up. If you get pregnant, your options are have an abortion, do this or do that. And there was nothing, adopt out. There was nothing.
Give your baby to the Clintons.
There was nothing about keeping your child in their prison hospital. This is so against women. Women, you no longer matter. You are women are gone. There are no women. You're not allowed to be a woman anymore. You are not a woman.
Turn it around, because what Cali Girl's saying will happen if the shit's not turned around. That is absolutely true.
Already been tried. It's already happened. Yeah. It's already happened.
Not in my world. Not yet. It's not complete in my world yet. There's still time to save it.
But yeah, they're
started. It's already there. It's going.
It can be turned around. It can be turned around.
I agree.
It has to be turned around, because I found out myself. I know that there are women out there, and
you guys have to fight for us.
Part of my detransition.
You men have to fight for us, and we women have to fight for the children.
And part of my detransition.
The men need and this might sound awful, but men need women to get our bag. Like,
I'm crying. I'm in tears right now.
I hear you. I'm not saying it's all
I
on
need
you, but
you
like
guys.
the biggest reason, like, a lot of guys have just stepped away from the shit. Like, it's like everything's designed to fuck you. They encourage women. Oh, you're going through hard times. Well, he's not treating you right. And then they're like, fake charge. It's a bunch of bullshit. Like, every time I think about what would long term be like with this woman, and I'm like, oh God, yeah, no, I can't do that. It's fucked. I can't.
There's no way I'm having a baby with that woman. I'll be trapped for the rest of my life. And then when she decides to go cheat on me, I'll be paying child support for the rest of my life. No, men get the short end of the fucking stick all the way around in society.
They don't even give us a stick anymore.
Is you. It's not that woman.
Right.
Once you have a baby with someone, that baby is you, and you learn to work through whatever that woman. You can't look at what's going to happen 20 years from now, because we might not ever get to 20 years. You might get with that woman. That woman might have a baby, and that woman might die giving that baby
I'm not
to
trying
you.
to kill anyone. I'm just saying
I know.
I'm just addressing the not the unknowns in terms of like, I know a lot of stuff could happen, but they encourage this kind of stuff. You know, part of the societal poison, and it's fucked.
Breaking up the family unit.
About it.
Yeah,
exactly.
they tried to tell me, like, all the way through this whole gender affirmation process. They're like, you are a woman, you are a woman, you are a woman, and then people around me are like, you know, yep, you're a woman, yep, you're a woman. I'd ask my husband, I was like, what am I, male or female? And he was like, you're female. And I'm like, this is where it's going. It's like, that was a big ass wake up call. It's like, I'm not a woman. And
I admit you have some very feminine aspects about you.
But that doesn't make me a woman.
I don't know you before you went through the hormone treatments and stuff, though. From what you say, you were an extremely masculine person, right? So
that's very masculine.
Right. And some days I look at you and I think, fuck, I could take some lessons on being a woman from Kevin, because you're very poised and, like, you know what I mean? Just
it targeted you because of the depression.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
Is you were a chunky woman, and now you're a buff man to me. I used to see a chunky woman.
Helga.
Yeah, but now I see a buff man. I'm just like a buff man, and you know, your mannerisms or whatever. Men throughout history have had, you know, feminine mannerisms. That's no big freaking deal.
Yeah, Laura has a point there, though.
And
Laura has a point.
Some women have masculine.
Laura has a point, though. I was trained. These are all remnants of what I was trained to do as a female. That's what
you said. You had to take classes, right?
Yeah,
you actually took classes, like boys' classes, and like
through the VA. Through the VA, they gave me voice training and gait, like how to walk and stuff like that. Mannerisms.
All right, sign me up for those classes so I can act like a girl, please.
Well, go join the military, serve your country, and if things continue down this, good.
Oh
Lord.
My God!
Anyway,
I've always been such a tomboy, so it's you know. kind of
got-
like,
I like
but I
the
would
beard,
never
maybe
consider changing my gender. I just am who I am, and it's just how I was raised, I guess, and so I never thought anything about it.
I wish I could continue this conversation, but right now I'm paying guys who are currently standing around who are waiting to turn the energy off. So unfortunately, that brings us to the close. Remember, tomorrow, 45-1 Actual will not be having a show until like a little bit later, but the stream will be live, but you'll actually be sitting with me because, apparently I'm the pseudo 45-1 Actual for a little bit tomorrow morning. So until tomorrow, guys, we will see you then. God bless. Have a great day.
Excited.
Wait,
We love you, Kevin.
guys.
Thank you.
Somebody said wait.
Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Glasses again.
What's up?
Sending you
I
so
want to
much
see
love.
the beard and the glasses again.
In the new glasses.
And the beer.
Oh, beer and glasses?
Yeah.
Catch us tonight on Laura the Goddess.
That's
so much love, Kevin.
So much love.
We'll see you later.
All right, we'll see you
Actually,
guys later.
Sharing.
Take it easy.
All right, you too.
Love you guys.
We'll catch y'all later.
And then it's just me.